gorgeous gals, welcome back to Contour Image, where I help you build confidence through your image. First, I want to just say thank you for everyone who has been watching and subscribing. I've noticed that even though I'm a really small channel right now, I've seen some growth peak between a few days where I'll have like anywhere between 2 or 3 or even 5 people subscribing. So I just want to say thank you for all of you who are subscribing and supporting this channel in one way or another. And so I just wanted to bring that to the attention that I do notice you and that I do appreciate it very, very much. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit more about glass skin. Now, this was kind of basically coined, if you will, from more of a Korean standpoint. I wanted to discuss a little bit differences between what glass skin is and how to get glass skin before I show you how I get mine and what products I use. So it's important to understand, like, the reason why they call it glass skin is because it has a sense of like a shine to it and more of a smooth look to it that kind of looks like you're literally looking through a glass, or like the skin itself is almost like a porcelain doll, sort of, just made more out of glass than porcelain, I guess. The effects are very apparent, and I've noticed that there's a lot of talk about it on the internet, and people do want it because it just looks healthy. It looks really good. Besides looking at the skin, a lot of times people might feel like it looks really good on them, but if I do it, it looks kind of greasy or something. So the difference here is one of the ways that you're gonna get the effects, glass skin, and rather than like a greasy, oily skin, is one thing that you need to understand is a proper exfoliation. The first thing you're gonna notice on these girls that you see that are models for glass skin is that their skin is super smooth. So it really just gives that overall appearance of like what glass is. It's just, glass is very smooth. There's no bumps or ruffles in it or anything, unless it just happens to be one that's you're not supposed to see through, for example. But in general, it's like a window, like it's just smooth with no nicks or anything. So you really have to understand how to properly exfoliate your skin. If your skin is not perfectly or well smooth, because I don't think you really can have perfectly smooth skin, there's really no such thing, because we do have some pores and skin is just going to be skin, right? When looking at the models that you notice for the glass skin, you'll notice that their skin is smooth and soft. It actually does look soft. And just to give you a little bit of education slightly on the exfoliation idea and process, is that when we get older, and we don't even have to be that old, but the top layer of the skin actually becomes more hard, almost like bricks. And so the idea is to actually remove those hard surfaces, because underneath are the more soft and supple skin that's more healthy and vibrant, just ready to come to the surface. And those are kind of more like sponges. So when we exfoliate the top layer that has those brick walls, we're able to expose the ones that are ready to absorb a lot of water and a lot of product. And that's kind of what gives it that smooth, supple look to the skin. Now, the other part that makes the skin like glass is that we have to understand that it looks more glossy and not greasy. Huge difference between the two. A lot of times people, especially with oily skin type or even combination skin type like myself, I notice I get quite oily generally in the center of my skin. And so the last thing I want to do is kind of look more wet, because it just kind of looks more like greasiness, and that's the last thing I want. But when you have been able to properly reduce the excess oil that's in your skin while effectively applying hydration to the skin immediately after that, replacing that oil, your skin will start to balance out and it won't look so greasy. It'll look more glossy. So before moving on to this journey of glass skin, the thing you're going to want to know the most of is your skin type. Now, if you don't know your skin type, or you're unsure of it, or you just want to kind of take a look and make sure you're accurate with it, I will have a link in the description below that will have a skin type quiz for you to take that will help guide you into understanding more about your skin. And you'll get a free PDF that will talk a little bit about it, and it will also talk a little bit more about ingredients and products that you'll want to look for. It will also give you a rundown of what order to use the products in a regular, daily, and weekly skincare regimen. I will also have some of these products linked down in the description below for you, so that if you want, you can take a look at what they will cost and everything. I mean, I think I can get it down to about $50, maybe less. It just depends on what's going on. Right now, hydrating mask was buy one, get one, so you could actually get it at a way better cost-effective rate. But I don't know how long that's gonna last, and by the time this is up, it won't even be there. But just to let you know that they do have deals with things like that as well. So without further ado, I will share and show you exactly what products I use and how I do it, so that you can see how my skin is very well hydrated, it's smooth, it's glossy, and very much like glass skin. Here is how I get my glass skin. You can kind of tell, like, it's not really glass. So yeah. So you can tell it's not, I mean, I've got a smooth face. I've got a natural, this is me just waking up from my bed. I haven't done anything with my skin. I haven't put anything on. This is just my natural, what it looks like after waking up. So what I'm gonna do first is I am gonna use the cleanser that I did have. I did do like a review or talk about at least a few months ago. And that's what I'm gonna use first. Down here, sorry if I was very close. I'm really close to my camera. I'm trying to be close enough, but not far enough, you know. I'm just gonna put some in my hand. And so obviously cleansers help to remove, you know, excess dirt and oil and all that, or excess oil and then dirt. And the thing about this cleanser in particular, as I mentioned before, is since it is a cream, I should say it's kind of more like moisturizing. So I actually had someone mention in one of the comments that they have oily skin and they do like to use this cleanser in particular. So thank you for that information if you're watching this. Because normally I would think that this would be too creamy or something for someone with oily skin. But I guess it just depends a lot on the person. So I guess I could say if you do happen to have oily skin type, you can give this one a shot as well. Then I'm going to pat dry. Try not to get my mic. So the next thing I would do is I'm going to tone my face. This is what I use as my toner. It is Korean as well, from the Medicube company. I might do a review or something on this. I'm not sure, or if this is gonna be the time I talk about it. Kind of nice because it's already like preset for you. So I'm just going to tone my skin. Go up on my neck, this. And then I'd go across here on my chest. And this is just to basically get rid of excess soap residue that might be on my skin. The other part too is it does have apparently a lot of like a vitamin C. And I like to keep it, I just put it on top of the pad that I use on top because I'm gonna use that a little later. Using my hydrating mask. Now this you can use pretty much every day. I use it mostly every day. I think it's like 5 or 6 times a week, give or take. I like it because it's obviously very hydrating, because that's the whole key to glass skin, is a smooth complexion with an immense amount of skin hydration. And so this is going to kind of set up your skin for the main reason why it would be glossy like and everything. The skin must have enough hydration in it. So I'm just going to put this on my skin for a little while and let it stay. And I like to use, kind of get some of it down here. I like to use it with a steamer a little bit, which you'll see here. I know you might be seeing some steam right now because it's on. But I like to do that to keep my skin a little bit warm, and to make it so that it keeps my skin basically kind of open and ready to absorb the product into it. So that's what I like to do. If I keep it on without something to kind of keep it warm, it's going to start to feel a little cold. Actually, it could feel very cold, depending, I guess, on the temperature and the weather and everything. And what happens is your skin starts to asphyxiate, and it kind of closes up, and it's not going to really allow much of the product to come in because it's trying to keep itself warm. So if you keep it warm for it, it's kind of more open, and it starts to be able to pull in all the ingredients that are in the mask, for instance. So I'm going to keep this on for about 10 minutes, and I will show you what I'm going to do next. Welcome back. So now that I have left this on for about, well, actually I have left it on for 10 minutes. I've left it on for 10 minutes. You can always leave this on for about 15, even 20 minutes, to be honest, but I don't know if you have all that time in the world. But this is what's going to make it, you know, all the more. It has a lot to do with maybe how much your skin really needs hydration. So if you do this on a consistent basis, it's it's not going to, you're not going to need it as much. But for me, like I said, I do it this like almost every day for 10 minutes. I always leave it on for at least 10 minutes, if not longer, but usually 10 minutes. So now that I'm going to take it off, so we have absolutely completely hydrated the skin entirely. Like this is one of the best ways to hydrate the skin. Okay. And so I'm just going to kind of, I don't need to actually wash this stuff off either. I just need to rub it in, and sometimes I'll even put it on my hands afterwards. The product that I like to use next is a serum. Now, this is the serum I like to use. I have not done a review or anything on it yet. The reason specifically I like this, it's not so much because it says it has triple collagen, since I do feel like the collagen thing is kind of silly. I'll explain that later in another video. I realize I don't think I've mentioned anything like that yet, but I have mentioned it in the books I've written. So, the reason I chose this one in particular is because the substance, just the way it feels. I don't know if maybe I should just do another video, because I know I'm not gonna be able to show you very well on here. I do give myself a good reasonable amount. Let's see if I can get it on there. I do give myself a reasonable amount. You can tell it's thick enough that it's pretty much keeps its form as I let it sit vertical. But you can almost feel that it creates a sense of a barrier on the skin a little bit. And that's really what's going to also help to keep and basically lock in that hydration in your skin. And that's basically the ultimate thing about it. So as I kind of rub it in a little bit and be gentle, I always go around my eyes too. I know they say don't get it on top of your eyes, but I always do. And I go around like, guys, you're going to notice, so here's where that like glass skin kind of gets a little bit. Now, it can kind of work with almost any serum as long as the serum's not tacky, because I've had ones that were like, I didn't really like the feeling. I felt like they were a little bit tacky, like drying feeling, and that's not what I want on my skin. But, this is where you're going to get that nice glossy glass looking skin. And it's all about the hydration and the smoothness of your skin. So you can kind of see how it looks there. And then what I like to do too is I'll put on a moisturizer. This is the moisturizer I've been using lately. Let's see if I can get it to zero in. This is the one that I've been using lately. It is a night cream, it says, but I use it for the day and night. This is my day routine too, by the way. I am just starting the day. I said I was getting up earlier in the morning. I put in a good amount, not too much. And I'll show you. It's reasonably thick to keep it on the spoon there. And notice I take it on the spoon. I don't want to. Then I put it on my hand here. So anyway, so then I just put that on. This is my glass skin. And it's really about just hydrating it. Now I'm taking my toner wipe and I'm just going to wipe off that so you can kind of see. And then since it's the day routine, I am going to finish it off with my sunscreen. I have its own little pick for it too. The one I'm using is SPF 50, of course, broad spectrum, but the reason I'm using this one in particular is because it's got a clear zinc to it, so it's not going to be white when I rub it in. So definitely for people with more ethnic skin types, they don't like the whiteness. Even the regular ones with the white on it, even with my skin, I can still see the whiteness of it, so I don't really like it. If I'm going to wear makeup or something on, I probably will just use the other stuff that is white, because it'll just disappear once I put some color more on my face. But if I don't want to use makeup, because I don't always wear makeup, I really kind of like my bare skin, I'll put this on. So one of the things I am working on is my skin damage, or my sun damage, which is probably what you'll probably see throughout, which when doing this and stuff, you can maybe see some sun damage. I'm slowly getting rid of it. It is taking its time. It is a hard one to get rid of, but you can do it. So when I first put it on, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a little white. And I like to go around my eyes. Be careful though, because if sunscreen gets into your eyes, it burns. I've done that a few times. Because sometimes I'll put a little bit of like an eye cream or something around my eyes, and then after that I'll put the sunscreen on, and then it starts using that oil and it starts leaching in and it burns. Anyone with oily skin is going to know that. They're going to be like, oh, heck no. So just kind of make sure you rub it all the way in. You'll still see, I still have some good glossiness to it. So again, thank you so much for joining me here at Contour Image, and remember to stay beautiful for life.